Welcome back, everybody. I've been feeling nostalgic here lately, so I thought I would go back and take episode number 1, which I edited in March of 2022, and play around a little bit with it, re-edit it, remix it, and see what we could come up with. There's my good boy Wyatt. Isn't he magnificent? In this video at that time of year, his coat is full. He weighs about 140 pounds. He had just made a major title. He was a nationally certified trailing dog with NSDA, one of the very best on the entire West Coast. So proud of him, and he was a magnificent partner for me going in the woods, and he would let me know which way the animals were going, all the different trails, and was always watching my back. I miss Wyatt. So March is the time of the year that we've had some rain. The sun has melted off some of the snow, and at the elevations of 1,000 and 2,000 feet, I can get back into the forest and get into the areas where the animals are traveling and get some more cameras up. It's also a time of year that the bucks have already dropped their antlers, and some of the older ones are starting to bulb out again. You can see that with this guy right here. This time of year, the elk herds are larger. They've wintered up, and they can be anywhere from 6 to, well, over 50, like the herd that I started this video with. That's an awful lot of them for our area. The calf elk that you just saw go by was born about a year ago, and then this cow elk is pregnant and is going to give birth to, looks like 1 or 2 calves here in just the next month. The calves are pretty good size here. They're over a couple 100 pounds, and occasionally you'll see them still trying to nurse from their mothers. You see the calf and cow on the left here. The calf is just a little bit smaller, and as you can see, she's still nursing. So this time of year, wherever you see these elk, you will almost always find a deer. The deer are typically at the outskirts of the elk. They don't mix. I'll rarely get videos of both deer and elk together right next to each other. It's sort of a symbiotic relationship. I think they're both watching out for each other, for predators, and seems to work pretty well. Thank you for joining Wyatt and I on our trail camera adventures, and my good friend and neighbor Chris and Sean. We've had a good time over the last couple of years doing this, and the channel continues to grow. Starting up again in March of 2022, I had a half a dozen cameras, and here we are at the end of 2023, and there is somewhere around 60 of them out there. And the bears and the elk have destroyed about 10 in the last couple of years, so we're doing pretty good. You can see here I put down some apples, and the deer love the apples, the elk love the apples, and they don't last very long this time of year. They find them, they keep coming back. I get an awful lot of video of the same animals. Most of my cameras are just on trails and in areas that I think are really scenic and the animals like to go through, so I very rarely put any bait or any attractant out, but sometimes it works pretty good. Here's this herd of elk again. This really is one of the largest ones I've ever seen. I tried to count them when they were going by, and it was somewhere over 50. And these are the elk that are in front of the trail camera. There's also some going behind it. So I'm not quite sure how big this herd really got to. And as you can see, they're moving. Some of these have got their tongues hanging out. I don't know whether a predator is pushing them or what, but they're definitely moving and wanting out of there, and have been moving for a while. I have lots of different areas that I put the cameras out, and when I put them out, it's not just one or two right here. There'll usually be a hike involved, and there could be a hike as far, one string of cameras is probably a 5-mile hike between the first and the last, and that's at least a full half day, because it's 7 miles from the truck to all the cameras and looping back. And then I've got some other ones that there will be a half a dozen cameras that are within just a few hundred yards of each other, but they're on a significant place like a water hole or something like that. So wild animal behavior, more than anything else on the videos, is what fascinates me. When we can see them in their natural environment and, interacting with each other, and preying on each other, and doing all the things in nature that we hear about and sometimes see on TV, that's fascinating to me. And I just love to be able to capture some of that stuff myself on video, and it's super exciting with technology today to be able to share it with you and to be able to put it in a content that is entertaining as well as educational. Thanks again for joining us on Trail Camera Adventures. And if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe, and you're more than welcome to share this with all your friends that love wildlife. And here's my puppy Calamity Jane. She's a little over 8 months old and pushing 100 pounds. She's not quite there yet, but she probably will be next week. And we just love her to death. And she is really a great trail dog.